Assalamualaikum everyone. In this video, we'll be discussing O-Levels Chemistry, Paper 1 of October-November 2019, Variant 1-2. This paper is of 1 hour. And the code for O-Levels Chemistry is 5070. This paper contains 40 MCQs, and there are 4 possible answers of each MCQ. You have to choose the correct one and record your answer using a soft pencil in a separate answer sheet. So let's get started. The first question is that the concentration of aqueous sodium carbonate can be found by the reaction with sodium hydro, hydrochloric acid of known concentration. So the hydrochloric acid has known concentration and the indicator is used, which is methyl orange. Which items of equipment are needed? Let's read out the items. Burette, measuring cylinder, gas syringe. So as I told you before that measuring cylinder isn't used to measure the accurate volume of sodium carbonate and the acid, nor the gas syringe is used. Only burette is used, so that's why option A is incorrect. Then option B says burette measuring cylinder thermometer. No. Then option C says burette pipette conical flask. Yes, so option C seems correct. And option D says burette pipette and stopwatch. Stopwatch is not needed. So option D is also incorrect. So in burette you can measure the concentration of acid, and using pipette you can measure the concentration of sodium carbonate, and you have to put that sodium carbonate in the conical flask. So option C is correct for question number 1. Then question number 2, the diagram shows 3 stages 1, 2, 3 used in a preparation of salt. So these are the 3 stages shown. Which row correctly shows the solubility both of reactants and the salt formed in this preparation? So they are saying that which row shows that the salt that is formed is soluble. So in this first method we have reactants and a beaker and the spatula. In the second one we have residue, filtrate, conical flask. In third one we are heating the filtrate. So heating the filtrate means you are doing the crystallization process. Crystallization process is done for both soluble and insoluble. So we can say that one of them would be soluble and one of them would be insoluble. Then the first one, so let's read out the options for solubility of reactants and solubility of the salt formed. So the salt formed would be soluble, and the solubility of the reactants, one of them would be soluble and the one of them would be insoluble. So option D is correct for this question. Then question number 3, the nucleon number of an atom is typically greater than its proton number. So nucleon number is greater than proton number, and the difference between these two numbers indicate the one in the atom. One is the gap. Atom that have different nucleon number but have same proton number are called 2. So let's read out the options. The atoms that have different nucleon number, same proton number are known as isomers. Oh no, sorry, they are known as isotopes. And the difference between these two numbers indicate the number of dash in an atom. So this is neutron. The difference between nucleon number and the proton number indicates neutrons, and different nucleon number but same proton number, atoms that have different nucleon number and same proton number are known as isotopes. So option D is correct for question number 3. Then question number 4, which 3 elements exist as diatomic molecules at room temperature? So as I told you before that nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine exist, hydrogen exists as diatomic molecules at RTP. Let's read out the option: hydrogen, oxygen, but helium. No, helium doesn't exist in diatomic form. So A option is incorrect. Then B, nitrogen, chlorine, but not neon. Then C, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Yes, so option C is correct for question number 4. Question 5. Which is a pure compound? So, dryer, no. Ethanol, yes. Ethanol is a pure compound. Petrol, no. Steel, no. Then question number 6. Which diagram best represents the structure of a solid metal? Metal. So you should keep the structure of a solid metal in your mind, and is the correct structure is option B. Positive charge and electrons between these positive charges. Then question number 7. Hydrogen sulfide burns in excess of oxygen according to the equation. The equation is given. 48 dm cube of hydrogen sulfide is burned. Which volume of sulfur dioxide is formed at RTP? Means room temperature and pressure. All the volumes are measured at same temperature and pressure. Okay, so for this, firstly, you can see that 48 dm cube of hydrogen sulfide is burned, and they are asking you to find the volume of sulfur dioxide. So the equation is given. Now what you have to do is to just use this equation to find out the volume of sulfur dioxide. You can see that 2 moles of hydrogen sulfide burns to give 48 dm cube. 48 dm cube means 2 moles of hydrogen sulfide, and 48 dm cube of hydrogen sulfide is burned. Now here you can see that sulfur dioxide also have 2 moles, and you need to find this X here. So what you will do is you can use the ratio method. Hydrogen sulfide 2 moles, and sulfur dioxide also have 2 moles. Now the volume of hydrogen sulfide is given 48, and you need to find the volume of sulfate. So now you can do cross multiplication. 48 into 2 divided by 2, 2 to cancel 48. So D option is correct for question number 7. Question number 8, which statement about electrical conductivity is correct? Let's read out this statement. First is covalent compounds such as glucose conduct when molten or dissolved in water. No. So the first statement is incorrect. Dilute acid such as sulfuric acid conducts because all ions are free to move. So as you all know that the electrical conductors have free ions or free electrons to conduct electricity. So option B says the dilute acid such as sulfuric acid conducts because all the ions are free to move. Yes, this statement is correct. As when sulfuric acid is dissolved in water, it gives H ion and SO4 ions. So third, let's read out the remaining 2 statements. Ionic compounds such as sodium chloride conduct due to the movement of electrons. No. So it conducts electricity due to the movement of ions. Metals such as copper conduct due to movement of positive ions. No. This statement is also incorrect. Then question number 9, ammonia is manufactured from nitrogen and hydrogen by the Haber process. The equation is given. What is the percentage yield when 60 kg mass is given 60 kg of ammonia is produced from 60 kg of hydrogen? Now you need to find the percentage yield. For this, firstly, you need to know the formula for the percentage yield, and the formula is percentage yield equals to actual yield divided by theoretical yield into 100. So you can say firstly you need to find the theoretical yield, and the actual yield is given, which is 60 kg. Firstly you need to find the moles of nitrogen. Now firstly you need to find the moles of this hydrogen. So let's do it here. Formula to calculate moles is moles equals to mass divided by mR. So the mass for hydrogen is given 60 kg. Let's convert this 60 kg into grams, which would be multiplied by 1000 means 60,000 divided by 2, which gives 30,000 moles. Now let's calculate the moles of ammonia. Let's have a look at the equation. So 1 mole of ammonia gives 1 mole of ammonia, 1 mole of nitrogen plus 3 moles of hydrogen gives 2 moles of ammonia. So 60 kg and 2. So 2 ratio 3 would be the ratio fixed. Now the hydrogen is I don't know how to calculate it. Okay, so hydrogen is 3 and ammonia is 2. So 2 ratio 3. The moles of hydrogen were 30,000 and the moles of ammonia we need to calculate, which is X. So 30,000 into 2 divided by 3. 3 ones are 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. And the answer comes 20,000 moles of ammonia. So the moles of ammonia and hydrogen are same. Now, once you have calculated the moles, you will use the formula. The formula you will use again is now I'm rearranging this formula. Mass equals to moles into MR. The MR of the nitrogen, the ammonia MR is 17 into this 20,000 moles gives 34,000 grams. Now you can convert these grams into kilograms if you want. You have to divide it by 1,000. 3030 cancel. 340 is the mass of ammonia. Okay, now what you have to do is now use the formula of the percentage yield, which is actual yield divided by theoretical yield into 100. The theoretical yield you found is 340 upon the actual yield, which was 60 into 100. Let's put this value in the calculator. Let's say divided by 340 into 100. It gives 17.6. Let's check out the options. So 17.6. Option B is correct for this question. Option B. Now question number 10, what is the ratio of the number of molecules of 71 grams of gaseous chlorine to the number of 2 grams of gaseous hydrogen? So firstly, the mass in grams is given. You need to find the moles. To find the moles, you will use the formula moles equals to mass divided by MR. So for chlorine, let's do it here. So mass divided by MR. For chlorine, the mass is given 71 and the MR of chlorine is Cl2. So 35.5, 35.8, it is 35.2 into 2, it gives 71. So 71 divided by 71 gives 1 mole. Now let's do this using the same formula. Let's calculate the moles of hydrogen. So the mass for the hydrogen was given, let's see it, 2 grams. So 2 divided by 2 gives 1. So it is 1 ratio 1. Let's check out the options. Option A is correct for question number 10. In question number 11, the diagram shows the practice for an electrolysis of electrolysis experiment. The diagram is given. Using the apparatus, which electrolyte would give colorless gas at both electrodes? So the first is aqueous copper sulfate. So aqueous copper sulfate, it means it has H ions, OH ions, copper ions, and sulfate ions. So the gas which would be produced on both the electrodes should be colorless. So copper will go at the cathode as it comes down in the reactivity series below hydrogen. So option A is incorrect. Option B, concentrated aqueous sodium chloride. So concentrated aqueous sodium chloride contains H, OH, Na, and Cl. So the chlorine will go to the anode this time. Then chlorine have color and it produces yellow fumes. So the gas is not colorless. Then C, dilute sulfuric acid, OH, H ions and SO4 ions. So sulfate do not take part in any of the reactions and it do not get reduced. So hydrogen will go to the cathode and oxygen, or you can say OH, will go to the anode. So option C is correct. Well, let's look at option D2. Molten bromide. So lead and bromine ions are present. Bromine will go towards the cathode and lead will go towards the anode. So option D is also incorrect. Then question number 12. Which metal is most likely to be extracted from its molten chloride by using electrolysis? Molten chloride by using electrolysis. For this, firstly, what you need to remember is the reactivity. You can let me write it. On the top, we have potassium. Then we have potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, ammonium. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 metals that are extracted using electrolysis. So they are saying that most likely to be extracted using electrolysis. So you can see calcium is present in this 5 metal list. So calcium A means A is the correct option. Copper is not present, iron is not present, nor silver is present. Then question number 13, two energy profile diagram are shown. The scale on the y-axis is same for the both diagram. Which statement is correct? So first reaction, let's identify which reaction is it. First reaction is endothermic, and the second one is also endothermic. So the statement is saying both reactions are exothermic. No. Only one reaction is endothermic. No, both reactions are endothermic. The activation energy in reaction 1 is smaller than the activation energy of reaction 2. Now you can see that the activation energy in this reaction is greater as compared to reaction 2. This is the activation energy. Then the enthalpy change in reaction 2 is larger. Yes, from reactant to product, you can see the enthalpy change is larger as compared to the enthalpy change in 1. So option D is correct for question number 13. Then question number 14. Ammonium nitrate dissolve in water. The equation is given, which statement is correct about the ammonium nitrate. Okay, so let's read out the statement. First statement is the reaction is endothermic. Yes, the reaction is endothermic because it is given here. Delta H is positive. First statement is correct. The water gets colored. The water gets colder during the reaction. Okay, when the reaction is endothermic, the temperature decreases. The temperature decreases, the water gets colder. Two statement is also correct. Second statement is also correct. Heat energy is absorbed by ammonium nitrate from the water. Yes, statement is also correct as in endothermic reaction, heat energy is absorbed. So for question number 14, option D means all three statements are correct. Question 15. Which statement about the photosynthesis is correct? Before reading the statements, you should know the equation of the photosynthesis, and the equation for the photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 6H2O, which gives 6 uh, C6H12O6, which is glucose, plus 6 moles of oxygen. Now, this arrow represents the catalyst used for this reaction, which is chlorophyll and sunlight. Option A says chlorophyll is a reactant. No. Oxygen is a product. Yes. Sunlight is a reactant. No. Water is a product. No. Water is a reactant. You can see here. So option B is correct for question number 15. Then question number 16, which reaction is underlined substance reduced? In which reaction the underlying substance is reduced? So firstly, let me tell you a trick that how to identify a redox reaction. To identify a redox reaction, just you need to see that if a uncharged ion, or you can say if an element is present in that equation. For example, you can take the example of equation A. An element is present in equation A, it means that it is a redox reaction. So the second one is also a redox reaction, third one is also a redox reaction, and fourth one is also a redox reaction. Now you need to identify that which substance is being reduced. So in option A, you can see that the carbon has charge of 0, then it gains oxygen. When it gains oxygen, it gets oxidized. In 2, you can see that chlorine have no charge, 0. Now it have the negative charge. Chlorine is being reduced. Now the magnesium have charge 0 and it gains oxygen here, means it is being oxidized. And this zinc also have the charge of 0. Now it loses electron, means it also becomes oxidized. So option B is correct for this question number 16. Question number 17, a catalyst alter the rate of reaction. Which statement correctly describes the effect of adding a catalyst to the reaction? All the particles have more energy to move fast. No. The activation energy is lowered. Yes. More reactant particle collide with enough energy to react. Yes. So option 2 and 3 are correct, means option C is correct. For question number 17. Question number 18. Solution T has the following properties. It reacts with magnesium forming a gas. It reacts with calcium carbonate for forming a gas. So these are the two properties of solution T. Which statement about T is correct? So T reacts with the magnesium to form gas. Metal plus acid forms the salt plus hydrogen gas. Let's read out the first statement, which is it contains H ions, more H ions than OH ions. No. It has a pH of 9. No. Its reaction with the calcium carbonate produces hydrogen gas. No. Reaction with calcium carbonate produces carbon dioxide. It reacts with aqueous ammonia. Yes. So option D is correct for question number 18. Question number 19. Which substance is soluble in water? So for this question, you need to remember the 7 solubility rules. Copper carbonate, no. Copper oxide, no. Copper hydroxide, no. Copper nitrate, yes. So all nitrates are soluble. Question 20. Which statement about ammonia is correct? So it is a colorless or odorless gas? No. It is a gas that turns blue litmus paper into red? No. It is formed when potassium nitrate is heated with aqueous sodium hydroxide and ammonium. Yes. So option C seems correct. Option D is it it is manufactured using the vanadium oxide as catalyst. No. So option C is correct for this question number 20. Question 21. The part of periodic table is shown with four elements W, X, Y, Z. The elements are not at their actual symbols. Some pairs of these elements may react to form compounds, which would be the formula. So before looking at formula, you can see that this is group 2, this is group 1, this is group 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So Z belongs to group 6, Y belongs to group 7, X belongs to group 3, W belongs to group 2, means have positive charge of 2 plus. 3 have 3 plus charge, 4, then 5 have 3 minus charge, 6 have 2 minus, and 7 have 1 minus. So which formula are correct? WX? No. If W and X would main formula, so it would be W3 and X2. Then option A is incorrect. Option B, W and Y2. Y belongs to group 7, charge of -1. So to make it -2, Y would be 2. And W belongs to group 2, +2. So it would be W. So this first one is correct. Then the second one is W2 and Z belongs to group 6, which means charge is -2. So second one is, yes, the second one is also correct. W and Z. So option B is correct for question number 21. And question number 22, which element in group 1 have similar chemical property? The elements in group 1 have similar chemical properties. Which statement explain why this is true? They all have metallic bondings. This statement doesn't explain the chemical properties, similar chemical properties. They all have the same number of complete electrons. No. They all have same number of electrons in their outer shell. Yes. So option C is correct for question number 22. As down the group shells increases. Then question number 23. The helium and oxygen are both noble gases. What is true of both elements? So they are chemically inert. The atom have 8 electrons in their outer shells. Okay, so they are chemically inert, helium and oxygen. First one is one A or B. One of them would be correct. Then they have 8 electrons. So oxygen have 8 electrons, but helium do not have 8 electrons in its outer shell. So option B is correct for question number 23. Question number 24. The ion of the metal X reacts with aqueous potassium iodide. So the equation is shown that aqueous potassium iodide is colored. Colored means it is a transition element, metal. From this equation, it can be deduced that X is most likely a dash metal, and X2 charge +2. Aqueous is ions are 2. So 1, group 1, 2, no. Transition metals have colored compounds, and the X2 plus is being oxidized or reduced. So one of them would be correct. It is being reduced. So option D is correct for question number 24. Question number 25, which substance is a metal? Melting point high, conducts electricity when solid. No. Conduct electricity when solid. Yes. Conduct electricity when molten. Yes. Option C is correct for question number 25. Question number 26. Which element